right, folks. Hi, Roland Martin here with TV1 and CNN here at the Museum. And we just finished an exciting panel at 2009 Broadband Summit. But first off, gentlemen, get your names. Who you with?
I'm Julius, Hollis, Chairman of the Alliance for Digital Equality.
Larry Cohen, President, Communications Workers of America.
Your assessment of the summit in terms of what the speakers had to say, but also, really more importantly, moving forward. What's the next step on this whole issue of broadband to underserved communities?
Well, I think that's a great question, Roland. I think working with our coalition partners, CWA, and our other coalition members, the Alliance's goal will be to essentially create programs to heighten digital literacy, to empower communities that are underserved and unserved in order to foster an environment in which neighborhoods in Main Street America are involved in this shift in this paradigm as it relates to this information age. So for us, in terms of speeding the delivery of vital services such as healthcare, education, public safety, extremely important as this paradigm shifts in this our society. It is extremely important that we not have a dysfunctional community outside our society, because if that happens, it will be extremely difficult for us to really recalibrate the socioeconomic values that our democracy holds so dear.
Well, lots of things on the agenda. The FCC broadband plan coming up in the next few months. Our view is that this kind of coalition, working with ADE, other partners that were at the summit today, that we can make a difference in what that plan looks like. We can aim higher. We can bring 21st century broadband across this country. Right now we're falling behind in the global economy. We think together we can help catch up with good public policy, with good partnerships between the private sector, public sector. Our members, some 300,000, half our members almost, help build and maintain the internet across the country. Others are on the content side, and they want to be part of the U.S. being back at the front lines of the internet where we were in the 80s and 90s. Now we're way back there, 16th in access, 29th when you measure speed, and all that affects jobs, the economy, and as Julius said, education, healthcare, the kinds of services that are possible now, that are impossible still for most Americans.
One of the issues that jumped out was the whole notion of relevance and trying to get the average person to understand how broadband plays a critical role in their life. And so moving forward, how do you see having that conversation, not with policymakers, not with academics, not with folks on the business side, but with the consumers, the users, to have a better understanding so they can get the relevance of this issue?
Again, a great question. I think through the programs that we've started at the Alliance for Digital Equality in Main Street America, through our digital empowerment councils in about 9 cities, we've come up with a blueprint in which we go into communities and work with local leaders, with public school teachers, with doctors, with social engineers, and with ministers and faith-based organizations to really get them to really understand that as this information age begins to really jettison throughout this 21st century, that we have to redefine job-related skills of workers, of African Americans, of Latinos, of blue-collar workers, of middle-class America, because with the unparalleled hardships now because of this recession, we simply have to redefine the landscape in terms of work skills, in terms of enhancing our workforce to look at different ways to reset their job training skills. And that's extremely important, and particularly for against companies that are looking not to be unionized. American workers, the American labor union movement is one of the greatest movements on this planet, and we cannot allow workers to be disenfranchised as they were over the last 8 years?
I would just first appreciate what Julius just said about workers, but I think some of the pilots that ADE have done are models for the country. We saw here today a video from Clayton County, Georgia, where ADE really led the way in developing a program to get high-speed internet into every school, and now trying to get laptops to every student to actually show how that can help transform, not by itself. We need teachers, we need content, obviously, but how that can help transform education and again, in an underserved community. And we talk about underserved communities, we're talking about most of America, all of rural America, huge chunks of urban America. We can't just let this sit. We have to, be active, take a stand, organize, and show that we can make a difference. And also, as Julius mentioned, the digital empowerment councils that they've started, there's 9 of them now, bringing together in an organized way different elements in a community to help mobilize the community. Because I think as your question implies, if you just let it sit, it's only going to be about entertainment at best. But if you organize in the community, bring leaders together, develop mentors, which is what the Digital Empowerment Council sets out to do, then you have people going back in the community, demonstrating what kind of a world it can be really for our kids and everybody in those communities.